What's up, everybody? This is SOS Rampages back with our second episode of the breaking down the wrestling barriers. I think that's what we're calling it. We're still shopping titles and stuff like that. Basically, we're trying to talk about what's going on in both companies and show that you can be fans of both things.
Yo,
In your mouth.
Where's the comment? Comments. I have no name, so this is what the title is right now.
Yeah, but we are very, very happy to be back, and we're going to be kind of discussing, like I said, both sides of what's going on in the WWE kind of landscape of things and what's going on the other end of the fence of the AEW things. And, anything else that you all want to hear, like he said, let us know in the comments. You see the bubble right on over there. That is the name that I talked about right there. If you need to find me, it's on this channel. If you found this, you probably found me and stuff at some point, and then you can go over there to that one.
Yeah, right here. This one.
Yeah, that's SOS Farm. He does like Minecraft and stuff over there, and he's wiggling his finger and stuff like that. So
yeah.
if you're into that kind of stuff, go on over there as well.
You see how like he's talking more and like so interactive and like and like talking to me, I talk back.
Yes.
Pick your side. Like you want to chill or you want to like get hype. We can do both. We both do both, but like there's also the line between
the line that currently has Okada and Danielson, as stretched out as they can be. And look at the veins and the muscles. I mean, I'm just saying, no homo over here. Nothing wrong with that. But good on y'all both. Good, you're keeping y'all in shape. But going on. With that being said, I think where you want to start off things. You want to go AEW or you want to go WWE?
Let's go AEW. I'm looking at this picture and I'm just seeing a master class. So I want to talk about it.
Okay, that's fair. It was a very, very good anniversary show. I think that the clips throughout showcased a lot of good moments as well, moments that I had even kind of forgotten about at the time since they just do so much. So it is very nice to see, and that reminder of all the things that they have done just in that kind of 5-year gap of, yes, the numbers may not show it at times, but like the product itself, when Tony Khan does take the time to build up those storylines and build up what he wants to do, it's very good. So that's what that showcased a lot. Being with the whole theme, because they started off the show with Moxley and the new, I don't even know if they're calling themselves the Combat Club anymore. They're just kind of running around doing their own thing, but that whole mentality of the promo and the war starting, and it's just the way it was cut is just beautiful.
Hey, they should the Besmirchment Combat Club.
The Besmirchment Combat Club. I mean, what they're doing, running around with bags over people's heads, yeah.
All right, and they can still rep Regal, but like they're not from Blackpool. But there's a lot of besmirchment going around. We can still call them the BC.
That's fair.
I think,
and then that just being the theme of the kind of the episode and what's going on at the time, them being the main, the main storyline, the main event, finishing up with, as you see, Danielson and Okada. But to kick off the show, just to kind of, I'm sure, kill the anticipation that everybody had, him starting off with Ospreay and Ricochet, starting off hot. And I mean, it's what everyone would expect out of the match. It is what everybody had anticipated and waiting for, as well as them hooking us with the ending, as far as not giving us a winner and really putting over Takeshita as like this monster heel, as far as the chants from the crowd and the heat, because the crowd was just so hot for the match. And then they did the false finish of the double draw, so you're like, all right, they're gonna definitely do a finish, and then them following up with that. It was very, very good booking. I could throw out there. Yes, obviously everybody wants to see a finish, but that's the way you get out of that.
I am going all in on like looks like such a evil Japanese villain, and I mean that in like the best way ever. Like he looks like Shang Tsung. Like if Okada is Liu Kang, then Takeshita is the Shang Tsung that's like on the opposite side that's waiting to take his throne. And like I'm down for this evil side that is like about to take over the whole elite empire.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
it's going to be
that,
very good.
the fact that they interjected him into there, like I'm like, okay, well, yeah, we're about to really get something going now.
We were definitely cooking with some fire there, along with a lot of other things that are going on. Like I said, I'm going to be jumping a little bit out of order and a little bit all over the place just because we're not going to do a complete breakdown because that would take a long time and we're not trying to have like a long video. And we're also trying to touch on the WWE side of things. But it's pretty similar with kind of MVP's involvement of talking to Mercedes and handing his business card out to her, and then him dropping the announcement of, Nana coming up and trying to back down MVP, and eventually, and be like, oh, Nana reminded people like, hey, we can fight, we can. And the MVP's like, no, I don't do that here. That ain't me. You can go to the complaints department, and just having that pat on the shoulder from Shelton was just, that's all he needed.
MVP with the cane, he does not fight. He's here for business.
He's here for business, and I think that he knows that at this point in time he can really cross over, and that's where his strength's gonna be. And obviously, with a good manager, you want someone that can take bumps at some point. Like it's not gonna hurt the fact that he can do that at any point in time, but him really emphasizing that manager role right now, because I think that he also sees what a lot of fans see of AEW's roster is huge as far as, and that goes for WWE's. Like if he's trying to jump back at any point in time, both of their rosters are huge with wrestlers. Managers, there's room for someone to really highlight and take spots. There's a couple of them out there. You got your Stokely's, you got your Nanas, but there's room for someone to take over.
Off the top of my head, there might be like 12 managers like like on television right now.
Yeah, and that might even be generous. Like that's a lot. But it's just them building it slowly, them not just dropping everybody right off. Like this is the hurt business. This is we're here. I'm trying to build it up slowly, build it up week after week. Adding people on, letting MVP just work his way in riddles and kind of talk about everybody knows or has an idea of where we're going with this. It's just how we're going to get there and the anticipation to get there.
Managers are so important. Like I remember back in the day when I was a young youth, and like everybody, not everybody, but like a lot of people had managers, and like whether they played a small role, like a Teddy Long in WCW, or like a big role like Bobby the Brain in the WWF, like they were always important, and they always had some kind of factor in the storyline, and like either progressing it or like making sure that their guy won.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to, and I mean this is kind of how it was last week, but seeing Don Callis and the way he made himself, a factor in that tag team match of just like it's the little roles, it's the little things that you can do that change everything. It's all in the subtleties, and it's all in the way that a manager is used. It's not them trying to get themselves over the wrestler. It's just them trying to work their way in as good as they can to elevate and to accentuate the match.
So. Yeah, even if you're a good guy, they're like like the slow clap going, like that can be like the New Day, great for that. Like, their own manager also like stomping on the ring, like while somebody like warm back up. That little thing you don't notice, but then like you pick up on throughout time. It means a lot.
Right. So I'm very excited to see kind of where that goes. I'm very excited to kind of see a lot of the other things that they kind of are lining up. I mean, they had Jay White come back and try to save Juice Robinson after Hangman did what isn't his name, trying to hang a man, which is maybe try to embrace that a little bit more. Maybe do a little bit less house burning, a little bit less house burning, a little bit less, putting needles in people's mouths, and let's just hang some people for a little bit. We can hang out, man. We don't have to kill
I
people.
I don't know. You played Red Dead Redemption 2, right?
Yes.
That old West was burning houses, people, injecting them with needles. Like that's kind of the I don't want to say Hangman's living a rock star lifestyle, but
No.
like being an outlaw.
No. And I think that's going to be a good transformation that we're kind of keep seeing, and just to see Jay White and the Bang Bang Gang get their kind of baby face run now, which will be very, very interesting to see on how that kind of goes about. We also saw Chris Jericho in his TV time call out Mark Briscoe, and do the first time that anybody has invoked the name of Jay to Mark, as far as I can remember, and it's kind of, I don't know if it's too soon. I don't know. I mean, he definitely he let Mark get a nice shot in for it. He definitely let him get his lick in for saying something.
He let Shawn Michaels punch his wife in the face.
I mean, yeah. So he let him get his lick in for doing it, and it's definitely gonna bring the heat. It's just how they're gonna keep building it in it. Is it worth it? Is it too soon? Kind of idea. Whatever. I don't know. I think Jay would be down for it because of the kind of guy Jay was.
I think I think this is the thing that Chris Jericho is going to do this year that people actually appreciate. Like, there's been a lot of Chris Jericho hate going on for the last 2.5 years.
Right.
They're like, he lost, he doesn't have it no more. It's like, I miss the WWE Jericho when he was doing like the list. Like, this new Jericho is not as good. Like,
I mean, that's basically the gimmick. Is he's living up the hate gimmick of, like, you guys hate me. You guys think I just want TV time. I'm gonna, hey, hi guys. I am about getting TV time for me. That's why I'm here.
but let him do his thing. Like, y'all act like y'all don't love Chris Jericho. Like, we all love Chris Jericho. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sit back, watch, relax, and let it play out.
Yeah.
And I think this Mark Briscoe thing is going to be the best thing he does all year because I think they're both really invested in it. I think they've both, Jericho wants to work with everybody.
Right.
And he's probably wanted to work with the Briscoes. But, Jericho's never really been like a main tag team guy. But like now, the situation is different. But they're like, how can we use this to our advantage? And I think that's what they're trying to do.
Right.
And they're gonna go out there and they're gonna have a slobber knocker.
Mm-hmm. It should be good. Wrestle Dream is setting up to be a very, very good card as far as, like, it's going to be very, very hard hitting. It's going to be very good, and as overall setting up with the main event of the evening with Danielson and Okada. It's like we said in the beginning, it was the hard hitting. It was
Daniel Bryanson.
there was a different look in Okada's eyes, and I said it to Farm when he was walking out. This wasn't play Okada. This wasn't the normal AEW Okada that we've seen so far. There was a look in his eyes. There wasn't that sly grin. There wasn't flipping people off to start. It was, he meant business, and it showed in the match, and it showed how he worked the entire match, and it's just,
he's been playing around with everybody.
Mm-mm.
And now he finally found somebody who strikes as hard as he does. And he's like, a real challenge.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people in this whole thing have the mentality of it being his last match. So he's really like, if you're wrestling Danielson right now, 9 times, like, you're 90%, if not more, this is your last time wrestling him. And I think everybody's kind of bringing it to that extent of there's that certain honor to it. There's that certain.
On this run he's doing right now, if you have the honor to have a match with him, like, I don't think he's doing house shows. Like, this is your last match with him, and like, he chose you
Yeah, I mean they've made it very established that Tony Khan with Sting and also with Danielson he's let Danielson kind of pick and choose. It's very close to what Cena was doing with the Open Challenge. It's that you want to tune in every week. It's you want to tune in every week because not only Cena was doing it trying to elevate people, but Brian is literally, yes, he's elevating some people and doing it, but it's a lot of him choosing what he wants to do and who he wants to work with and who he's going to have the best match and tell the best story with before it's like that idea of like, just imagine if Brett knew his last year and he could pick the opponents that he wanted to work with to tell the best story possible for that last year run. Like, that's what has been given.
All right, man. All right.
I'm sorry, Goldberg did it. I didn't do it.
Fine.
Bill did it.
That's fine. We always have WrestleMania 26. My light. My world.
It knew that time what you had said. That like reacted right.
Right?
You don't remember WrestleMania 26? No.
Yeah, that's a clip right there.
Jesus. But it ended up being, they kind of gave it away a little bit with how the stipulation was after the first 20 minutes. The Continental title wasn't on the line, so you kind of had an idea that Danielson was going over. But the way they booked the finish, where it looked like kind of Okada's building up strength, you had 2 rainmakers in a row, and then you slowly see Claudio, because it's now AEW likes to do these funny little things, which is they try to be WWE, but they act like TNA a lot of the times, where, they even said it on commentary. They're like, it's not the Continental title anymore, so it's not the Continental rules. So interference, you can interfere now, and you can have people by ringside because it's not 20 minutes anymore.
Wait, you said they try to be WWE, but they're TNA a lot of the times?
Yes.
So what you just said mathematically is that they are W.
They're what?
WCW?
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
they're WCW if WCW lasted longer, yes. But it's like that. But it was a good finish as far as having Claudio come up and put his leg up on the, he didn't cross the. See, and that's what I couldn't tell if on commentary they were trying to cover them, because, like I said, they were doing their best to, like, okay, they were behind the guardrail, so technically they're not at ringside. Technically they're behind the guardrail distracting them. So, like, it's iffy rules there. But then Brian winning it with a backslide, like you had said when it happened, it's the most Bret Hart thing in a big match, to just go with that backslide and just pick up the win. It was fantastic.
Man. What's old becomes new again.
Yeah. And then they.
Cool.
That's why and it was also good after the finish. You had Claudio and Pac come in and they start holding his arms back, and then you have Marina choking him out as Moxley's cutting the promo. Which, I mean, Moxley great at the promo. That's what he does. I mean, Marina, she's got that MMA background. No matter what anybody says about her, she has done a UFC fight.
Oh, she's a problem.
Yes, she has a problem as well. But having them doing that, and then Wheeler coming out to save the day with the hammer, and then not just Moxley doing the most Bret Hart, or Danielson doing the most Bret Hart thing, but then Moxley doing the most Moxley thing that he could do. Most Moxley thing that I could think of, when Wheeler's just standing in there with a hammer and everybody's running away, and every other babyface or heel, anytime anybody has a weapon, is like, oh, nope, we're not dealing with that. Moxley just rolls right back in the ring and looks at him like, what you gonna do with that? You gonna hit me with it? Because I don't think you got the balls to hit me with it. I don't think you're gonna do it. And then Danielson kind of cutting it off before we find out whether Wheeler would have hit him or not. But, like, it's a Moxley thing to do. That's Stone Cold Moxley.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said.
it does set up for the next week having the tag team match with Claudio and Pac versus Wheeler and Bryan, which will be great. Huh?
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
So
guy.
then we're going to cross back over the barrier, and we're going to touch on, and it's kind of nice that we touched on AEW a little bit more because we are also going to have a WWE video coming later about Bad Blood and all the stuff that they got going on over there. So, check out that video if you also want more WWE content. We will touch on stuff right now, like some of the main storylines, such as Mr. coming back, Mr. Rollins coming back, popping out of nowhere. I don't think he's one. He reminds me a lot of, Dolph. Of no matter when he gets hurt, no matter what, no matter if they tell him to take time off, he's that button that they're like, hey Seth, can you come work with somebody at any point in time and come back? Can you just, if Seth would take some time and genuinely be off of TV for a little bit, I think people would genuinely feel a different way about Seth and would have more of that wanting, that yearning. But he has just been on our TV for over a decade now, which is crazy to say looking back at it, but like he has been a staple on our TV.
And like, if we had one or two more Seth Rollins, then the actual Seth Rollins could take like 3 or 4 months off before he comes back. But since we only have one Seth Rollins, he can only take 25 days off. And then, yeah, man, we need a big pay-per-view match.
And he's just so versatile, and just like a Dolph, he can just work with anybody, slide that in there. Doing the same thing with the Jericho, same thing with a lot of these utility players. Of we need a certain guy to go over a certain person, and him working with Bronson Reed is a perfect example of we need Bronson Reed to get elevated. Who we got? We got Seth. Let's get him over.
Those types of wrestlers in my timeline, it goes Shawn, Dolph, Seth.
Yeah, and I can see that.
I don't know who the next one is. We're probably watching them right now, but we haven't figured out that like versatile guy, but like or gal. That's a subject though. the women, the ladies. Hey, Rampage, we should do a video about the ladies.
You're leading it.
All right, maybe, yeah.
You backed so far, man. Maybe.
No, it's not going to be structured like this. But yeah, maybe. If we get 3 likes,
3 likes
on this video, we'll do that. How's about that?
We got 2 on the last one, so you just need 1 more.
Hey man, if I like it and you like it,
I didn't like the last one, so
then we only got to get Bryan or Okada to like it also.
Okay. You're stretching. But at least in that Seth Rollins return as well, we had the ring break for the first time in a while, which, if anybody's going to do it, Strowman's going to be the guy to do it. And this is going to show my wrestling lack of knowledge and stuff like that. And possibly yours if you get it wrong and somebody in the comments, shout us out and say we're full of shit. Has Strowman broke it before? I feel like he has.
He
like
did.
Once. With Show?
Yeah, he broke it with Big Show.
That's what I thought. But it's been a couple years, and Bronson could use the rub too, a little bit of a ring breaking. It's always a huge moment, and it's always a big deal. Surprised they didn't wait for Netflix, since we're right around the corner from Netflix, and that would have been a big to do for Netflix. But there's always time to do it again. There's always going to showcase it, in the highlights.
You ever seen Bronson Reed in person?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
We both have, sir.
We and me?
Yes.
When? Did...
He was at a con that we were at, one of the wrestling cons.
Was he wearing street clothes? Was he wearing a Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah, he's big.
I don't count that.
You don't count street clothes? No. He's got to be in full gear signing autographs.
Like in ring, like tattoos, big broad shoulders.
You heard that here, folks, and indie workers out there. You have to be in full gear for Farm to come over there and say something to you.
No, he's a liar. He's a liar. If you a thick and wide big beefy wrestler, then the first time I see you, I want to see you in ring gear, and then I want to see you in your nice Samoa Joe collared shirt, like, and be
Samoa
like,
Joe college shirt.
yeah, like, yo, I want to. Yo, I'm an old school wrestling fan,
You really selling that.
so like, yo, I want to be afraid of you before like I want to walk up to you and be like, "Hey, you scary? Can I shake your hand without you breaking it?" You know. So like, I'm yo, scare me before you dare me to walk up and see what's up. What's up?
With all this being said, we also had during the show, and it's been building up over the past couple weeks, we're having a new day kind of look as far as Xavier Woods. I had predicted this before it had happened of him. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more diabolical of ripping the mask off of Rey Mysterio. I thought it was going to be that huge heel transition. I'm also, and this is where it brings up this question on how you feel about this, because I don't know if you had seen the rumor and innuendo out there of some people pitching this. Do you think it's a double turn, possibly? Do you think he's going to change Kofi's mind and be they do a heel run?
Oh no, I never thought about that.
Because we've heard on the podcast and such how much Kofi really loves being a heel, and he really wants to do another heel run. Like he's verbally said it.
Yo, Kofi is like a prime example of someone who is a heel in the locker room and is a good guy in front of the fans.
You want to see Big Money Kofi.
I do.
I know you remember him playing Big Money like him doing that on TV would get so over. It would get so over so quickly.
I think it would that would have to be a slow build.
It would be a
Like,
slow build, but I think if you did it the right way, I think if he really leaned into it, because he has for so many years been that standard for athletic prowess in WWE, but never really they'll give him the props on commentary, but there's always that new shiny toy of the Ricochets and the Carmelo Hayeses, and he's never been the first, like he's never that top guy of like, oh, Kofi's the high flyer. He's always kind of like, on the side, but him being like, nah, I've been doing this for
yo,
almost
Kofi,
20 years now as the high flyer. You better watch me with my vert. Watch me how high I can get up.
yo, Rampage. Who do I not fight on any of these WWE games?
And Kofi Kingston.
Why do I not fight Kofi Kingston on any of these WWE games?
Because of that Trouble in Paradise.
Exactly. Yo, Kofi is trouble. Do not mess with Kofi. I will not put him down. But I did not think of both of them turning at the same time. That's very, very interesting. But I think a slow burn would be better.
I think
Because
the slow burn would be a little bit better, and I also believe that as he's kind of stated as well in like the podcast and other things, I think Kofi's last thing that he wants to do in this wrestling mat is put over Xavier, put over. That's why the New Day. That's a big reason why he said he wanted to go in the New Day, is because he wanted to bring Big E and Xavier up to that level. Wanted them to all get over, and I could see him, especially since Woods has not had the world title run on that push. If he can do something to, like, I mean, I truly think that he wants Woods to end his career at some point. Like, I don't know.
that's the only thing left for him. And like, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I think he's also just waiting, and this has been a little bit of him waiting for the time of he wants to make sure it happens and he does it and it gets over. We've seen so many heel turns, so many tag team partner, especially heel turns, where once the feud of the two of them's over, it doesn't get the other person over. It doesn't. I mean, You go back to, I hate to throw these ones out there, the Shad and JTG, the, Titus and Darren, it's every person that turns heel on their partner. Huh?
No, they all break up.
They all break up, but that's always like, okay, they do the feud, the next pay-per-view against each other, and they have their new music, and they have their new looks, and they have everything, and then they just kind of go into the background, and they don't do anything after that. And it's like, I think he wants to make sure that when this happens, this is going to boost Xavier into the title picture, into, like, it's going to mean something. It's going to get him over long term, not just for the night or for a month.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember what I was going to say. So you remember, like, when the New Day was heels the first time before they got over?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh, no, the thing is, like, when one of us wins, we all win. So, like, that's why they defended the tag team title, the three of them, and, like, they would like all dance to the New Day Rocks, because, like, if one of us wins, we all win. So, like, that's still the New Day spirit. Like, if Xavier wins, Kofi wins, Big E wins, they all win. Right. We all win. There's a hurricane.
But I think there's also something to be said. I think that there's also something to be said, though, about all of that being said and everything that he said, doing that, and the we'll all win mentality of not just Xavier putting him out, but then afterwards using the mic to spit that, to be like, oh yeah, no, this is about me. This was about me. This has been, I was the mastermind. I was the big thinker, the PhD guy from the beginning. I used y'all, even if he doesn't mean it. Like him just saying that as character wise of like, now I played y'all. I played like him stomping on the names of Big E and Kofi, him, really grinding that in there as a heel because of how much people have loved the New Day, how much people are like, we came back just to watch the New Day. We like him really grinding that into people of like selling against it now.
No, like I was the mastermind. Kofi wasn't doing anything. Big E wasn't doing anything. And then in 6 months, I had everybody buying unicorn horns. Mm-hmm. Nobody gave a damn about unicorns except for me, since I was 7 years old, and I made all of you buy them. That was
all I had to do was play a fake instrument on the outside of the ring, and y'all ate it up.
I named it Francesca, and y'all got attached. It got destroyed, and I named Francesca number 2, and y'all fell right into it.
He's got, like, it's right there sitting there for him, and it's he could really, and we know this from seeing him on the channel. We know this from outside of, like, he can talk. Like, if you let him talk, he'll talk. Just he never really had that
whole social media personality. Like his whole gimmick is give me a microphone and what do you want me to talk about?
And I think under new management, under like a Triple H regime who does understand what social media does, that does understand how much Xavier gets on social media, how much views that's getting, how much that can transition over to the actual product, and is actually hip on the product and understands it, and it like has been around it. He knows what he can capitalize on here and what that could really mean for the company as a whole.
Yeah, especially with Triple H being different than Vince. And then Woods is like, I have a chance to work with this movie company for this game. And then, he's making a video with like some big-time actor. And then, he messes around and gets like another 2 million subscribers because they're like, he's into games. And like, I didn't know who he was. And like, connections happen just like that. But, under the old management, like, no, we don't do that, pal. Keep it all under the roof. So like right up on everything. Like, no, work with them. Like, yeah, see what you do.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see going forward, and especially with the Netflix deal on how he's going to utilize these talents and how big of this push is going to continue to happen for some of the ones that they're building up now, and how much he's going to stick with it.
And that's me goal. It's a been like a 35 minutes. I'm sorry, y'all.
With that being said, we will.
How you gonna end it like that? We were supposed to continue like that never happened. Okay. With that being said, y'all, I would like to thank everybody for joining us today on. I guess this is my job now. On another episode of what's it called?
I'm gonna let you struggle and swim. Find your floaty.
Thank you again for joining us for the best wrestling show on YouTube coming in 2025. Because I'm not going to be like, oh, we're the best right now. No, we don't know what we're doing. But right now, I'm going to tell you that this show is called Breaking
The wrestling barriers. Yeah.
All right.
It's at the top of the screen. You see it's at the top.
No, mine says StreamYard.com.
Oh, okay. I was just say, hey, shout out to StreamYard.com.
Yeah. I guess I'll finish it off. We appreciate everybody stopping by today. Make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are also on Twitch, and
Is it a question mark at the end for you?
Yeah, because there's so many social medias, and I'm only on like 2 of them, and I have to remember which ones you're on and not mix up. So we are also on Twitch. Rampage is on Twitter.
X.
You can Z your way out. So Rampage is on Twitter. I am Twitch and YouTube under SOS Farm right yonder. And on YouTube, I am Farm27. And my guest right over here is.
Read my elbows while you're trying to do that. My name is SOS Rampage, as you see it at the bottom over here. Yeah, you see it on the YouTube channel that we are currently on. So that's how you get to said video. Please like and subscribe. All the subscribers will help, especially for us wrestling fans, so that we can get this live content out there to you. He's trying to rep Jimmy Seafood over there. So if you're in the Baltimore area, go check out Jimmy Seafood for wrestling events as well as great food.
W logo.
Yeah, the AEW logo as well. But that being said, thank you for tuning in. We will try to get this content out to you as soon as possible. Appreciate y'all, and peace. And recording now.